Hello everyone, welcome to another Python tutorial series, and in this video I'm going to talk about creating a page loading animation in Python with Ursina engine. So in this video I'm going to talk about how to create a page loading animation in Python with Ursina engine, and we're going to be talking about two different types of animations, the circled dot animation and the circled bar animation. So first of all, we can import our module and create a window from Ursina import star. So that's importing the Ursina module. We're going to set up our basic app like this. App is equal to Ursina app.run. And next we can create 12 white dots that can form a circle with a radius of 1. And then we'll also put them in a list. Since a circle is 360 degrees from the starting point to the end, these 12 dots will be 30 degrees apart. So I'm going to create a variable num, and this is going to be the number of dots. I'm going to have a circles list, and it's going to be empty. And this is just going to hold our 12 circles. And now we can use a for loop to basically create our dots. So for t in range num, so basically t in range 12, we're going to create an angle of 30 degrees times t times math.pi divided by 180. We'll have next variable equal to math.cosine 90 times math.pi over 180 minus the angle. We'll have a y equal to math.sine 90 times math.pi over 180 minus the angle. And we'll have an entity which is going to be our circle. So we'll set the model equal to a circle. And we can set the scale equal to 0.3. And the position to the x and y coordinates that we just made. Now that we've created the circle, we can append that circle into our circles list. So circles.append e. So now if I run this, let's see. This should be position is equal to xy. So now when we run this, we have 12 circles, all forming a circle. So if I decide to show this again, we notice that all the dots are opaque. And what we want to do is make the 12 dots go gradually from totally transparent to completely opaque in a clockwise direction. And to do that, we'll first create a list variable that holds 12 transparency values. So right underneath our circles list, we can create a transparency list. And this is equal to, or inside we'll have t times 255 over 11, or t in range num. And here we're using list comprehension. So now we can add the transparency parameter to the 12 dots. And when we create our circle entity, I'm going to add another parameter of color and set it equal to color.rgba 255, 255, 255 with the transparency value inside the transparency list. So when we run, we should see that the 12 dots go gradually from totally transparent to completely opaque in the clockwise direction. And now basically this circle at the very top is completely transparent, and as you go in this direction, now this circle is completely white and opaque. So it gets lighter and lighter as you go clockwise. So now what we want to do from here is make the page loading animation. Now there are two ways to do it. The first way is fix the 12 dots in their original positions, but change the transparency with time. And the second way is fix the transparency for the 12 dots, but rotate them as a whole clockwise. Now both methods will give us the animation if implemented correctly. But in this video, I'm going to use the first method, that is fix the positions of the 12 dots, but change the transparency of each of them. We need the update function for the animation, and also need two global variables as the number counters. So I'm going to create my update function right here. Define update. And I'm going to set my global tmn variables. And down here I can create those variables. So t is equal to 0, I'll set m equal to 0, 2. M will count how many frames are passed in the update function, and T will be used to generate repeated sequences of numbers that will be used to shift transparency values from one dot to the next clockwise. So now we could start the count. Instead of our update function, I'll increase m by 1, so m plus equal to 1. And I'll check if m mod 10 is equal to 0, I'm going to increase t by 1. So what this does is that for each frame, m is going to increase by 1, and for every 10 frames, t is also going to increase by 1. Now, if you want to make the animation rotate faster, you use a smaller number. If you want to make it go slower, we'll use a larger number. I found that 10 works well for this animation, so we'll use 10 here. So now we could change the transparency of each dot, and the idea is to shift the transparency from one dot to the next clockwise. So in our update function, inside of our if statement, we'll loop through 12 times. So for I in range num, what I want to do is set circles index I color. And here I'm just going to change the transparency of each circle equal to color.rgba 255, 255, 255, and then the transparency value, which is I minus t mod 12. So the t mod 12 right here is to generate the repeated number sequences from 0 to 11. So now when we run, we should see the nice page loading animation. So I'm going to save and run this. And here we have the loading animation for our circle dots. Sometimes we see that the page animations are not made up of dots, but instead are made up of bars. And so this is a little bit tricky, because with bars, you'll have to think about the rotations, while you don't have to think about this for dots. But we could still do it. First, we'll change the model in the scale. So I'll go back to our entity, and instead of setting the model to circle, I'll set the model to quad. And I'll also set the scale to 0.7 on the x, 0.1 on the y axis. And now, or then we'll have to add rotations in the z direction as well. So at the very end, I'll have rotation around the z-axis equal to 90 plus 30 times t. So if I save and now run, we have a nice page loading animation with our rotating bars for bars instead of circles. So this is the end of this video. If you have any comments, please put them below in the comment section. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.